Spokane through leaders empowered by servant leadership. So our story starts with that vision. Next, the Smith Barbieri Progressive Fund made the choice to come alongside and sponsored Megan into the class. And Marilyn Nelson was constantly there to make sure that Megan felt okay in a new and initially perhaps sometimes uncomfortable environment. And then things moved to warp speed with action. Beginning on January 8th this year, when Katara was a presenter at Diversity Day. Two of our leaders, Alicia and Mark, listened when Brian happened to mention that one day Megan wanted to make peace with her parents by visiting their resting place in Colorado. At the same time, Katara had also mentioned on Facebook that she wished that she could attend her son's wrestling match at the Nationals in Colorado Springs. And so knowing that Katara would be a great comfort, having worked with people in stressful situations, Mark and Alicia hatched a plan for this to happen sooner rather than later. And the class of 2016 funded the trip. Members of other classes became involved. A story ran in the local newspaper, you may have seen that. And after attending the Leadership Lights the Way Gala the night before, Katara and Megan boarded a plane and flew to Colorado just 22 days after our Diversity Day. The class of 2016 was uniquely united by our common action. And Katara saw her son wrestle in Colorado Springs, and with Katara as her wingman, Megan was able to make peace with her focus. Please stand along with Megan, Marilyn, Alicia, and Mark, and would you please recognize these people for their vision, choices, and action. And Rick Clark, would you stand up for a moment? Where'd you end up, Rick? There he is. Okay, sit down. You know, Rick met a homeless man named Jared and chose to help him out with a backpack. It took some vision, some choice, and some action, and now we're 15 months from that date, just about the same time that I applied for Leadership Spokane. And what has happened in that time is that that movement has given away over 600 backpacks locally filled with food and clothing to people that are homeless in our community. 31 cities have opened their own chapters, and we're now in 3 countries doing this. So if you ever wonder what one person can do by stopping and just taking a moment to recognize the humanity of another person, go talk to him when we get done today. The question kind of remains, if there are 3 simple steps, then why isn't it easy to affect change? What is it that keeps so many people from following their vision and choosing their path and taking action? Why isn't everybody making their vision a reality? Well, usually it's because of fear. Fear has an important place in our life. Now, it's there to keep us alive. Our local police, speaking to us at the Leadership Spokane alumni group this year, reminded us to trust those instincts. You know that 6th sense when the hair comes up in the back of your neck? Fear is important for that. It's there to keep us safe and keep us alive, but it can also be a great paralyzer. Especially when we use it to make decisions in non-life-threatening situations. It can block us from dreaming, from exercising our greatest freedom, and from putting things into motion. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of disapproval, fear that I'm not good enough, even fear of success. Jim Carrey spoke to a commencement at the Maharishi University in Iowa in 2014. He told the story of his father, who could have been a great comedian, but instead he chose to take a safe job and become an accountant. When Jim was 12, his dad lost that safe job, and the family struggled mightily for a while. He says the lesson he learned was, you can fail at what you don't know, So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. So how do we overcome fear? Well, the simple secret is, if we love what we do, I think we heard that from the Secretary of State earlier. If we love what we do, and we help enough other people get what they want, we end up getting what we want. And our fears then become insignificant, because it's no longer about me. Now it's about us. And sometimes, it can be as simple as just reaching out to acknowledge another human being at the STA. Martin Luther King Jr. understood this. Robert Greenlee understood this. This is why servant leadership is so effective. Because it's centered on others, not on ourselves. This is what we experienced and learned this year from Leadership Spokane. And when our passions and visions carry us beyond our fears to make choices of service, acting in our community, then we are truly empowered to create the change we seek with the tools we've been given here by Leadership Spokane. Friends, at the end of life, what really matters is not what we bought, but what we built. Not what we got, but what we shared. Not our competence, but our character. And not our success, but our significance. Live a life that matters. Live a life of love. Jim Carrey at Maharishi University Commencement in 2014 said words I'd like to pass along to you tonight. We are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world. And as we walk through those doors today, we will only have two choices, love or fear. Choose love, and don't ever let fear turn you against your playful heart. To Mr. Carey's words, I simply add this in closing. It's all about vision, choice, and action, combined with the love of a servant leader's heart. So get ready, Spokane. We've had ourselves quite a year. Here comes the leadership class of 2016. And Spokane, you are in for one hell of a run.